The Apostle Paul told us to redeem the times because the days are evil. What does that mean? Well, truly, time passes. Each day comes and goes rather quickly. Although some days can be boring, others can be exhilarating, each day has value. So I encountered this verse again while I was reading in the book of Psalms. This is found in Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. There are some days we simply do not rejoice in. Trouble comes, burdens are magnified, it's just not a fun day. But each day does seem to have value. In fact, the scriptures tell us we have a limited number of days. So why would I be rejoicing in the day which the Lord has made? Well, that verse implies that He made it for a purpose. So what is the purpose for each day? It looks like from scriptures we're clearly told that each day has a purpose that God has built into it, and that is that we glorify Him. But let's think for a moment. Why is that important? Let's look at this concept of time and eternity. If we were to go backward as far as you can go, we would never come to an absolute starting point. And the reason is because God doesn't have a starting point. He's always existed. But in eternity past, we can't come to some number and say, well, that's when it all started. But it goes way back. It's a number that goes quantitatively beyond anything we can think. Then if we project off into the future and say, well, how far is it going to go into the future? Well, of course, we don't know. But that's another eternal issue. There's an infinity of time periods before us called eternity. So how much of my life is part of this eternity to the left and eternity to the right? If I lived 80 years or some equivalent time period, that's just a little hiccup, a little burp, a little blip, as it were, in the total scheme of things. But what makes this time when I exist here on earth so important? Why should I redeem my days? Well, it looks like the reason is because I was made to glorify God. But the only time in all of the history of me that I could ever glorify Him is now. Because when I walk into eternity, there will be no chance for me to glorify Him in the same way that I can do it today. And what I mean by that is this time period of our life on earth is the only time when we make choices that glorify Him. I'm fraught with all kinds of demands to make good choices. And those choices, if made in a righteous manner, they glorify Him. But this is the only time in my whole existence when I'm privileged to make choices that honor and please Him. So this is the day which the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it because we have an opportunity to make righteous choices over against unrighteous choices. These are important days. We don't get them back. Once lived, they're gone. I only have 80 years plus or minus in which to glorify Him, which is my ultimate calling. So today, how are you glorifying God? In what ways are you choosing to please Him? All this counts for eternity. So as we keep our eye on the truth that time passes and we only have this opportunity once, it's really kind of an awakening to our soul to realize we don't want to let any day go by without putting Him first.